Hello, good morning, guys. Welcome to Words from a Friend podcast. I'm your host, Marty Carey, and this is the podcast that follows my book, Words from a Friend, a daily guide to a purposeful life. It's available at Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com. We were on a 365-day inner journey together, so happy and grateful to have you along. We're on day 88 of that journey, day 88. And it's a continuation of yesterday. It's more on the mindset of assuming. The mindset of assuming. It's its own thing. You know, and we have to make some assumptions. We have to make logical assumptions and stuff like that. But it's when we let the ego get that spinning wheel going in ourselves that gets out of hand, and then we start creating drama in our lives unnecessarily. Unnecessary suffering. Unnecessary suffering, right? What do you want? What do we want? We'd always ask ourselves, that is one of the best questions. What do I want in this moment? What do I want the result of this day to be? Okay. Well, that's when you set your intentions in the morning. All right? I intend to have a really great day. I intend to bring myself, my best self to this day. No matter what comes my way, I'll be in Remember Town. I'll bring myself into Remember Town, which will say, okay, I've got the best tools. I'm going to use them. I'm going to be calm. First and foremost, somebody comes with drama. All right. What's our first job when a fire comes? Put some water on that fire. Put some water on that fire. Bring the calm, bring centered, and next thing you know, okay, here's what we do here. Here's what we do here. Okay, things like that. Calm has so much power to it, right? Calm has so much insight, so much insight. So much of our answers come from the calm state. But as you practice that calm state, as far as mindfulness practice and meditation and all that kind of stuff, well, you're not in that looking out at the world for what's wrong all the time and all that stuff. You realize you're creating your own world, and you stop assuming the worst. You stop assuming that worst automatically. That's the thing to stop assuming. The assuming mindset is been trained by this planet to be first thought is negative, default setting negative. It's like a Seinfeld movie. Default set negative, right? So that's really what it's like. That's what it's like, because this 3D world is heavy. So it's easy to just think those things. It's easy to come to those conclusions. Well, I've never done really well at any of this stuff before, so I'm not even going to try. I'm going to assume, this is not for me. But you had a twinge in there about it. But you're just like, nah, I don't have what it takes to that. No, there you go. There you go. There's that self-talk. I don't have what it takes. I don't have what it takes. You already talked yourself out of it. There's not even a starting gun's going to go off. Not even a starting gun's going to go off because you've already decided, I'm not even in the race. I'm not even in the race. But you're not in a race. The only person you're racing against is your yesterday self. You're in your own time. You're in your own time. You awaken, you wake up a little bit more, you peel back another layer. You're like, oh, I can't live this way anymore. I'm moving on. I'm moving forward. In my mind, I'm opening up. I'm becoming more responsible with my own thoughts. My own thoughts. And what do I allow myself to give life to? Those thoughts, right? Man, moving in the flow is just letting a lot of that crap pass by, because you realize it's just the same damn thought you thought yesterday, right? What's new about that? What's revolutionary about that? You're a growth-seeking being, so seek to grow and take your time with it. It's not something you need to rush, but in the seeking of that growth will come. But if you shut the growth off and you say, I'm never going to try anything, I'm just going to stay in this small little box, this is who I am, this is fine, if that's fine with you, then great. But if there's a lot of stuff that you suffer in that box because you haven't let yourself out of it to see the truth that you're unlimited, really, that you're unlimited. You're an unlimited being of light. You need not assume. You need to go on the ride and trust God. Trust the light. Trust the light that's within you. Trust that heaven within. Because within that heaven is all that wisdom, and when you can trust that and not assume things and not have to be hypervigilance, it's the survival mechanism, within all of us, how we react to things, how we assume things, how we create our lives from that wheel of survival or fear or the ego. So, God, the love, when you go to the other side, where we truly are, our true home, our true self, that heaven that is within us, there's no fear in there. There's no fear, does not exist there. Fear does not exist in your soul. Does not. Because your soul knows who you are. It's like, hey, wakey, wakey, you're in a little play on earth. You're in a little play on earth. There's purpose to it. You put meaning to it. You learn from it. You grow from it. And you come back home. So what do you do in that journey? You do your best. Because you want to live your best. You want to have the best life ever. You want to have the best life you can have. Okay? So you got to partner up with the truth of who you are. Or else you're just going to be bing-banging around like a pinball machine. Right? So assuming is a big part of that. So there's lots of wisdom in just sitting outside of that assumption, over the top of it, and say, look what my mind is assuming. Look what my mind is assuming again. And what's that going to do if I latch onto that assumption? What's going to happen? What's this avatar of mine going to do if I latch onto that assumption that my mind just created a little story about that I don't know is true, that I don't really know is true, but I'm just assuming it is? Well, guess what? You just started your own roller coaster ride if you're not mindful of it. And you don't say, why don't I sit back and wait to really see if that's true? And then you see it's completely untrue, and you go, whoo, whoo. Oh, man, I was about to stick my foot in my mouth. I was about to cause a lot of ruckus here. I was about to just dive in like a bull in a china closet because I assumed I knew things. And then boom, 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 right? Drama, unnecessary. Unnecessary people, Gatling guns of ego all over the place. You know what I'm talking about. So you only come out of that in being more faithful that whatever's in front of you, if you can bring your best to it, that's what you do. You'd be the water over the fire. Sometimes you're the fire and you want some water thrown on you because you just want to get back into that center place. And the practice is being in that non-assuming place. Just one that goes, all right, I'm traveling this way. I'm going to travel lighter. I'm not going to assume everything. I'm just going to do my best through all of this stuff and let God handle the rest. Let God handle the rest. Fill in the blanks of a lot of the hows. A lot of the hows of everything are the problem. How am I ever going to do that? Well, you get caught up in the hows of things and you never get started. Well, the answers come. The next steps only come when you take the first step. Because once you take the first step, all the information held in that first step is actually preparation for the second step. And that's how God prepares us in this way, in these steps, going from an old way or an old habit, old assuming way, old dictator of the mind, ego stuff. That's what you're kicking out. You're kicking out, and what you're letting in is more light, living less of the heavy brick and more of the feather that we've spoken out about in the past. Lighter like the feather, not heavy like the brick. Assumption can lead to a lot of heavy stuff. Unhealthy assumption. Healthy assumption is just like, yeah, okay, I assume my car is going to be in the driveway in the morning, right? I assume that. So, all right. If we were raised in a very judgmental home with lots of drama, you will tend to think and assume in those terms. You see, you must begin to become the witness to the thought and belief pattern you've assumed to be true, what you've assumed to be you. All right? Thought patterns. We have thought patterns. And unless we snip those, break those, and create new ones in there, we're just living from an old program, one that has served us in the past, but it's not enough to get us to the next level of who we really are, and to see that glory of the next self that's in here. That's the journey. The inner journey is really going, well, the older I get, if I keep seeking this growth and I keep knocking on doors for what's the next step for me and my purpose, well, then new doors are going to open. You have work to do in this step. Don't try and jump into other steps before this step is taught you what it needs to teach you. And then you go into the next step. All right? You jump steps and then you end up going, crap. And you're back down to this one like Tennessee Tuxedo and Chumley. We only heard the first part of the advice from Mr. Whoopi. And then we go and we screw it all up and have to go back to Mr. Whoopi. He goes, I try to tell you, knuckleheads, sit down and listen. Sit down and listen to the whole lesson before you go out there willy-nilly in the world thinking you got it all figured out, and then you get all ego about it. And, no. You take your time. It's like the tortoise and the hare. The hare is always running fast. Boy, that hare is running fast. lots to do, ba-ba-doo. Looks like there's lots of progress happening. And then the hair starts jumping over steps and thinking it's there. Next thing you know, gush, dush, dush, because you got too cocky, and the turtle's just walking right by you. See you, buddy. See you at the finish line in an hour or two. So that's what it is. Slow and steady wins the race. Is just you taking your time through each step and trusting God that He knows the way. He knows the way. Just be content with taking these steps and perfecting these steps and being good and immerse yourself in these initial steps of what you need to do. And then you start to get your comfort zone there and then you go, okay, I'm ready for something bigger than this because this is just zippity-doo-dah where I am right now. God knows where that is, and God will say, okay, yeah, you think you are. A little more. God's treating you like a fine wine. So you want to run like the rabbit a lot of times. But wisdom will tell you what's right in front of you. Present moment. Present moment is what's most important. There's lessons in this present moment that are preparing you for the bigger things that you're seeking in your dreams and your goals. All right? Perfect each step. So it's like in our business, where I started out as pot washer, bus boy. You move up into lunch waitering, bartending, night waitering was the gold. Oh man, the big show, Friday, Saturday night, the restaurant, big show. I'm there, I made it there, and then go on beyond next step. What's the next step from here? Because I kind of like this, and it's led us to some great places. And so that's following your dream and trusting that even though you can't always see the way, that a way will be made in that trust. A way will be made. Where there is no way, a way will be made. Okay? You're going to need that. You're going to need that to get to the dreams and goals that you have for yourself here. Whatever you do, it's about putting your light and your attention and your focus. Focus that light on that. Immerse your light. That's the watering of your dream, your garden. All right? Whatever it is. Just your life in general. Your relationships, same thing. Same water. Same water is your light. Your light is in that water. All right? That's why you water your garden with it. That's why the rain comes down and feeds your garden. It's the same thing. You are water, too. Be that water. Flow with it. Flow like it through the rocks and stuff like of life, because it can break down the rocks and just create the Grand Canyon. Right? You can whittle all those problems away, right past them. Oars in the boat. Trust God. Trust God. You'll see. It's a worthy relationship. It's the one that's going to take you to your dreams and beyond. Like you can't even imagine. Okay? All right, beginning to shift yourself into a more positive mindset will demand that you stop assuming. Never create a story around something until it creates itself in real time. Stay in the present moment and be aware of who's steering the ship. Who's steering the ship? That is you. Right? In other words, you're most likely assuming you have things right 100% of the time. Well, your ego does that. First thought that comes into your mind, well, okay, I might not be right about it, but I can't act wrong either. That's the ego. That's the game. That's the game of the ego. Can't be wrong. It's humility. When you can admit you're wrong, it's just like, okay, I'm talking to a grounded soul here, and we can just laugh at that stuff, You admit you're wrong, and then you're admitting your ego's wrong, because none of us know everything here. We know nothing. Our ego knows nothing except what it was taught. And then we can be all, uppity about that, what I've learned. Did you know I went to this and that and the other thing? Well, yeah, you can have one of those high IQs, but you can have no common sense either. We've seen that too. So, it's to me, and the thing that I've been able to boil it down to, and I say this a lot, but you want to boil it down and go, okay, what is this all about? What is this human journey really all about? Well, it's about expansion. It's about growing. And it's about growing beyond old places that we no longer belong as a species. No, we're light expanding within all of us. We are the sun rising within each of us. And when we turn that light on in this world, You see all the rats scramble. It's like, gone, out. The light is here now, right? We have assumed control. Rush 2112. Woo, what an album. We have assumed control, right? Well, love is always in control. Love is always in control. Always has been, always will be. So we're here to just give the X-nay to the stuff that isn't love, that isn't light. Expose it for what it is. It's like, decisions, bad decisions. Isn't that how we always learn? Bad decisions. Well, we're going to learn as a planet. We look back and be like, man, we must have all been shit-faced to create that world. Well, it was just like an amnesia. But we're coming out of it, so we have to help each other out of it. That's why the unity part of it is over and above all the politics. The unity, because that's really what's going to. It's okay. We're just we're kind of waking each other up as we go. Not everybody's going to understand what's going on. Not everybody's going to understand what's going on. They're still going to be out there with the signs and on each side and all that stuff. But it's really what it is about. It's like learning to go above that and say, what's above all this? If God's looking down upon all of this ruckus and he's going, wake up, children, wake up. You're all part of me. You're all part of me. All right? Ye have forgotten. If God's talking in colonial terms, ye have forgotten. Right? All of us have forgotten. But there was a purpose to the forgetting, but it's over. It's time. It's old. It's like a stale bread. It's done. Yeah, you can make it into some meatballs, but all right. Can't make a P&J with it. Can't make a nice P&J with that. So that's what it's about. It's really about growth. It's about expansion of the light. And that's the consciousness. Light and consciousness is the same thing. And it's going to take us out of the ignorance. The light takes us out of the ignorance. And when we move into it in ourselves, it takes us out of our old ignorances. Things we used to believe that were true about ourselves. Things we thought were true about other people. We just slap our own little judgmental label on other people and assume we would never like them. Assume we would never get along with them because of this thing or that one thing. Right? They're not where they... Well, how do you know? They're just not lost. They're okay. We're all lost. We all don't know everything, And then who are we listening to? A lot of lies for a lot of years, people. A lot of lies for a lot of years has formed this little Hatfield and McCoy stuff all over the world. It's the same game, the same gamesmanship right from the top. Right from the top. Their game, we're not playing. We're the ants in the game. But not anymore. Not anymore. The light has heard our call and said, no, we're banding together, and that's it. Because the light is so much bigger than this seeming monster of, and it isn't. They're small. It's small. Yeah, they have terror and all that other stuff, but the light, they misjudged the light. That's for sure. Thought they could beat the light. That's pretty funny. We're all banding together. You're all a cell of light. Get rid of the stuff that no longer belongs in your sphere of light. A little bit every day. Walk in it. Walk in your new light. Keep walking in it. It expands. Your aura naturally connects you to the other light, consciousness itself. That's how we raise it all. And then assuming the worst ends because we can start assuming the best because we decided the other stuff sucks. Start assuming the best in your own life and start living up to it. That's how you do it. Assume the best and walk in the best way to bring it about, to attract it to yourself. You are the catalyst to that. You are the only one that can draw that to yourself. You're the one. You're the magnet. You're the magnet. What's your magnet drawing is who you've allowed yourself to become. Right? All that karma is in there. What you've done, what you've let go of, what you've allowed the light to recreate in yourself. All that stuff is in there. Your journey is in there. But you clean this house out of stuff that doesn't belong, and next thing you know, that wheel starts turning different for you. It starts turning different in your life. It starts responding to the way that you say, I am now. I am now. I realize I am the light. I realize I'm at peace because Jesus told me and said, that's it. What else you need to know? Isn't that faith? Isn't that trust? Isn't it? All right, then you got to walk in it. You can't just use it as a parlor trick now and then and pray for the best. You've got to walk with the best. Walk that walk in your own light. You'll see. You'll know what to drop off as you go. You'll know what to drop off, and God's going to help you to drop it off because you realize I'm replacing old dusty furniture with this brand new set that I got, and it feels good. It's comfortable now. I feel like, oh man, I got a whole new way forward. I'm not alone. I'm in my light. Includes my ancestors, my family on the other side, and all the light that wants to be the light here is right behind that. You've got angels and you've got spirit guides with you every day. You just need to wake up to that and move with it. All right, my friends, much love to everybody. Hope you have a great day, and you know what to spread today, right? Be in it. Be in it to win it. See you tomorrow.